Only 3 weeks to go, and yet thousands of people still don't understand what the January state pension update really means for them. Some think their money is being cut, others think nothing is changing at all. The truth sits somewhere in the middle, and if you get this wrong, it could affect when you retire and how you plan your money. Watch till the end, because I'll explain it calmly, clearly, and without the scare stories. If this information matters to you, then this channel is honestly made for people like you. I focus only on UK state pension, DWP updates, and real changes that affect your money and your future, explained in clear, simple English. I don't do scare stories, I don't confuse things on purpose, and I don't waste your time. If you want to stay informed and feel confident about what's happening, subscribing now means you won't miss the updates that are actually meant for you. With only a few weeks left before January the 1st, many people across the UK are starting to feel worried and confused about what is really changing with the state pension and what new information is coming from the Department for Work and Pensions. You may have seen headlines saying there is a big rule change or that something important is happening very soon, and for many pensioners and people close to retirement, that kind of message can feel unsettling. So let's slow everything down and explain what this actually means in clear, simple UK English, without panic, without rumors, and without complicated language, so you can understand what is changing, what is not changing, and what you really need to be aware of as we move into the new year. First of all, it is important to say clearly that January the 1st does not suddenly stop your state pension. It does not cancel payments, and it does not mean everyone will lose money overnight. A lot of the fear around this topic comes from headlines that sound dramatic but do not explain the full picture. What is really happening is part of longer-term changes that have already been planned for years, and January the 1st is simply a point in time where certain rules, updates, and reminders become more relevant, especially for people who are nearing state pension age or planning their retirement. One of the biggest things people are talking about is the state pension age. For some years now, the government has been slowly increasing the age at which people can claim the state pension. This is not new, and it is not something suddenly decided at the last minute. The law was passed a long time ago, and it affects people depending on their date of birth. As we move closer to 2026 and beyond, more people are realizing that they may not receive their state pension at the age they originally expected. January the 1st is not the day the age changes for everyone, but it is a reminder that these changes are getting closer and that people need to check their own situation. Many people still believe they will get their state pension automatically at 66 because that has been the case for a while. However, for some people, especially those born in the early 1960s, the state pension age will rise to 67 over time. This does not affect everyone in the same way, and it does not apply to people who are already receiving their state pension. If you are already getting your pension, these age changes do not take it away from you. But if you are approaching retirement age, it is very important to know exactly when you will be eligible so you can plan properly and avoid surprises. Another thing causing confusion is the idea that there is a new rule cutting the amount of state pension from January. This is simply not true. There is no rule coming in on January the 1st that reduces the weekly state pension amount. In fact, state pension increases are decided each year and normally take effect in April, not January. The government uses a system often referred to as the triple lock, which means the state pension usually rises by the highest of inflation, average earnings growth, or a fixed minimum amount. While the future of this system is often debated, there is no confirmed cut starting in January. What January does bring, however, is new information, letters, and updates from the DWP. Many people will receive letters reminding them of their state pension age, their national insurance record, or what they need to do if they are planning to claim in the future. These letters can look worrying if you are not expecting them, but in most cases, they are informational rather than threatening. The DWP is trying to make sure people understand their position ahead of time rather than finding out too late. It is also worth talking about national insurance contributions, because this is another area where people feel confused. To receive the full new state pension, you usually need 35 qualifying years of national insurance contributions. January the 1st itself does not change this rule, but as we move into a new tax year later on, people are encouraged to check their records. Some people may have gaps in their national insurance history due to time off work, carrying responsibilities, illness, or working abroad. Knowing about these gaps early can help you decide whether paying voluntary contributions is worth considering. Another concern people have is about taxation. While the state pension itself is taxable income, it is usually paid without tax being taken off at source. January does not change the tax rules directly, but as allowances remain frozen for many people, more pensioners are becoming aware that tax may affect them in the future. This is not a new rule, but it is something more people are noticing as pension amounts slowly rise. Some people are also worried that January the 1st brings new conditions or stricter checks from the DWP. In reality, most checks and reviews happen throughout the year, not on one specific day. However, the DWP does continue to improve its systems and communications, which means more letters, more online services, and more encouragement for people to manage their information digitally. For those who prefer paper letters or phone calls, this can feel overwhelming, but support is still available. It is important to understand that if you are already receiving your state pension, you generally do not need to take action because of January the 1st. Your payments should continue as normal, and any annual increase would usually be applied in April. If anything changes that affects you directly, the DWP will normally contact you. Ignoring letters is never a good idea, but there is no need to panic if you receive general information or reminders. For people who are close to retirement age, January is a good time to check a few things calmly. Knowing your exact state pension age, checking your national insurance record, and understanding what income you will have can give you peace of mind. Many people delay looking at these details because they feel complicated, but once explained clearly, they are often easier than expected. There is also a lot of misinformation online, especially on social media, where dramatic headlines are used to get attention. Claims that pensions are being scrapped, reduced by half, or stopped for certain age groups are usually false or misleading. The reality is much slower and more structured than those headlines suggest. Changes to the pension system take years, not weeks, and people are normally given notice well in advance. January the 1st is also a symbolic date. It marks the start of a new year, and for many people, it feels like a deadline. Content creators and news outlets often use this feeling to make stories sound more urgent than they really are. While it is true that we are getting closer to important changes in the coming years, there is no single switch being flipped on January the 1st that suddenly changes everything. If you are unsure about your situation, it is always better to rely on official sources or speak to a trusted advisor rather than guessing or worrying in silence. The DWP, while not perfect, does provide clear information when you look at your individual circumstances rather than general headlines. Friends, family members, and community groups can also help you understand letters or forms if you find them difficult. To sum everything up calmly, the key message is that January the 1st brings awareness, not disaster. It is a reminder that state pension rules are evolving, that retirement ages are changing for some people, and that staying informed is important. It is not a sudden loss of money, it is not a hidden cut, and it is not something that should cause sleepless nights. Understanding your own position is far more important than reacting to scary titles. As we move into the new year, the best thing you can do is stay informed, read official letters carefully, and ask questions when something is unclear. The state pension remains a vital support for millions of people across the UK, and while changes do happen, they are usually gradual and communicated over time. January the 1st is simply another step in that ongoing process, not the end of the road. Only 3 weeks to go, and yet thousands of people still don't understand what the January state pension update really means for them. Some think their money is being cut, others think nothing is changing at all. The truth sits somewhere in the middle, and if you get this wrong, it could affect when you retire and how you plan your money. Watch till the end, because I'll explain it calmly, clearly, and without the scare stories. If this information matters to you, then this channel is honestly made for people like you. I focus only on UK state pension, DWP updates, and real changes that affect your money and your future, explained in clear, simple English. I don't do scare stories, I don't confuse things on purpose, and I don't waste your time. If you want to stay informed and feel confident about what's happening, subscribing now means you won't miss the updates that are actually meant for you.